Girls in Chaos, Chapter 1. Rizzo Maldonado was an unusually adept hacker. Then again, Technomancy was a relatively unknown power, and unless you were into superhero comics or role-playing games, you wouldn't know it existed. Everything's going great until Rizzo's new mystery client has her hacking into the wrong system. The worst kind of people take notice, and Rizzo's about to lose her hard-won freedom until Blake Nolan steps up and helps her take a different path. For someone who's avoided trusting or needing anyone else, Rizzo now has to make a hard choice. Will she open her heart and take a chance on Blake? Or will she risk it all, including her freedom? Chapter 1. Rizzo leaned back in her desk chair and watched the activity on her monitors. Carl Wallace was probably freaking out right about now, but that's the cost of being an asshole. Rizzo's client, Carl's last girlfriend, had paid handsomely to get all the videos and pictures deleted from his computer and his cloud accounts. Seems Carl liked to take sex videos and photos without his partner's permission, then blackmail them when they decided he was too creepy to continue dating. Unfortunately for Carl, his last girlfriend had the knowledge and resources to hire Rizzo. Also unfortunate for Carl was Carl's paranoia that kept him from keeping copies anywhere except the cloud, so everything would be gone in the next 20 minutes or so. Forever. Rizzo got up and stretched, then pulled her blonde curls up into a hair tie and headed towards her kitchen. The loft apartment she owned through one of her business accounts was a point of pride. Exposed brick, huge windows, and enough space for whatever she wanted. A set of stairs to an upper level held her sleeping space and the second bathroom, but the rest of the main area was divided into a kitchen, bath with shower, living room space, workout space, and the area she called the lab. Metal bars sunk into the floor in a large half circle allowed light and air, and also acted as a Faraday cage to protect her technical gear and computers. A cup of coffee and an apple would tide her over until she felt like eating a meal. Rizzo wasn't much for regular timetables. The whole 9-to-5 gig had never worked for her, and now she made enough money that it never had to again. The ringtone warned her who was calling, so Rizzo made sure to take a sip of coffee before she answered. "Hello, Finn. What do you need?" Rizzo said. "Why do you always assume I need something when I call you?" Finn replied. "Because you always need something when you call. What is it? I'm busy." "Remember when I told you my friend Blake would be in town this weekend? Well, he's in town, and I want to go out to dinner, but 3 is awkward, and I was hoping you'd be the 4th. "Finn, you know I don't date. I don't need you fixing me up with one of your asshole friends." "You're one of my asshole friends, Rizzo, and it's not a date. It's just making it easier for Lacey and me to take Blake out and not let it get weird." "It's already weird." "We're going to Santana's." "Okay, for a free meal at Santana's, I'm in. But don't be surprised if I call him out for being a dick. I'll just wait until we're in the parking lot on the way home, okay?" "Thanks, Rizzo. It's tomorrow at 8. Want me to send a car?" "Of course. I still refuse to drive in this city." "All right, lovely. Make sure you dress for the place. No jeans and hoodies." "I know, Finn. I'm not a complete loser. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Got it. Bye." Rizzo disconnected the call and closed her eyes. Finn was one of maybe 3 people in the world she'd do this for. They'd both been in the same foster home until he'd hit 18 and was tossed to the curb. She'd snuck him food and blankets for a year before she was booted, too. Once they were both out of the foster system, Rizzo used her special skills to get them a place to live and put food on the table. Eventually, Finn got a job at Morgan's Crossing, their favorite pub, and took classes on bartending. 10 years later, he was co-owner of Morgan's with his wife Lacey, and Rizzo was her own boss in her own home, and she didn't have to share a bed with anyone. For her, that's just how she liked it. Back at her computer, Rizzo picked up the stylus and reached over to the drawing tablet. She made sure she had the screen up that showed Creepy Carl's system files, and she drew a symbol on the tablet. It shimmered gold, then faded away. "There you go, Carl. Good luck ever saving another photo or video ever again. Technomancy for the win," Rizzo said with a smile. Technomancy was something most people thought was a skill from a role-playing game or a video game, but for Rizzo, it was real. She could do things that messed with all tech, no matter what kind. A glyph on her tablet acted like a spell in the system. In this instance, Carl Wallace would never be able to save another photo or video to any piece of tech he might ever own ever again. Symbols tattooed on her arms could be activated with a whispered word and a tracing of her finger, and no security system or camera would ever pick up that Rizzo had passed that way. DNA and fingerprints were still a thing, but motion detectors, alarm systems, camera surveillance, they wouldn't even know she'd been there. She sent a secure message to her client and told her that the system had been wiped, and Carl would never be able to save any kind of image ever again. 5 minutes later, a chime notified Rizzo that the second half of her payment had been transferred to her offshore account. "Pleasure doing business with you, ma'am," Rizzo murmured and opened up a shopping window. She'd need a dress delivered by tomorrow evening if she was going to Santana's. Time to do a little shopping.